Good morning, everyone. I'm David Paul. I'm the Managing Director of VectorVest in the UK. And I've got 5 stocks for you. I think there are going to be 5 winners for the autumn. But before we start that, I would just like to look at the position of the overall UK market. And I've loaded a chart of the VectorVest composite over the last, since the start of 2020. You can see the COVID sell-off and the great move up in world markets since March 2020. We've had a couple of hiccups along the way in the UK market timing. As you can see, there was a red triangle in November and a red triangle towards the end of July a few weeks ago. Those came to nothing, and none of the positions that I've been holding actually got stopped out in those little pullbacks. So when you see a red triangle, we tell people to be careful. Don't buy any more stocks. Watch the stops on the stocks that you've got very carefully indeed. At the moment, the underlying or the longer term trend on VectorVest UK is up, and the short term trend is up. Clearly, it's a nervous day in markets because Jay Powell is speaking at the Jackson Hole annual Fed summit. It's virtual this year. Nevertheless, the whole world is waiting on his speech as to what he's going to do about the so-called taper. And clearly, the atrocity in Kabul didn't do sentiment a good yesterday afternoon, but the S&P 500 still holding up very well at slightly under 4,500. The first stock that I'm looking at is Volx. Now, there was a deal in this stock yesterday, and all the charts that I'm going to present have got the same layout. You can see the price in the candle chart. Now, above the price is a thick green line. That's the VectorVest valuation. And as you can see from an eyeball, that the share is significantly undervalued in our opinion. And the blue line study in the window below the price is forecast earnings per share. And that earnings per share is rising strongly. And that's the engine that has been driving the share price upwards. The market moved strongly at the end of 2020, and it's been in a range since February this year. And technicians will note that it's doing its best to break out of that range on the 4th attempt. So I think that there's considerable upside to come in Volx. It's on a buy recommendation on VectorVest. Games Workshop, I've spoken about. I'm personally a large holder of Games Workshop. This is a weekly chart over 2 years. You can see the COVID sell-off, the very strong push-up, and it's now charted what many chartists would refer to as a cup and handle pattern, and I think that it's very close to breaking out. If it does break out, then the target and the upside would get towards £180 there. So that looks like a great low risk, high probability opportunity in Games Workshop. CapeTech is a share that I've been speaking about for quite a long time at Core Finance and at my weekly webcasts that I do for VectorVest customers. On Monday afternoon, I said it was a great place to buy at about 350 as it pulled back and kissed that trend line. As you can see, it's also undervalued. It's growing earnings very strongly indeed. I think there's much more upside in CapeTech. Crichton's small company, and I know the spread is reasonably wide, but the moves compensate for that. It broke up strongly, and you can see the earnings rising, and it's now charting what technicians would refer to as a bull flag. And the target from that bull flag would be another 50 pence move, which would take us up to the VectorVest valuation. Just be careful, it's a small cap, and you may struggle to get in and out, and the spread is about 4 or 5% on the shares. So just be wary of that if you're, as they say, swinging a big line. And the last one that I don't think you'll have any problem with liquidity is a 3I group. A part of the group in infrastructure should do very well from the infrastructure projects that have been mooted around the world and pretty much going ahead. You can see earnings per share growing strongly. The share price significantly undervalued, and it's on a buy recommendation on VectorVest. I think that there's much more upside in that particular company. So those are 5 companies, ladies and gentlemen, that I think will do very well in the autumn. You can find these companies for yourself on VectorVest. If you want to take a 30-day trial of VectorVest, there's a summer special, summer sale on. It's a whole 99 pence. So if you go to vectorvest.co.uk, you can avail yourself of that. Folks, have a great long weekend. Enjoy the bank holiday. And I'll be back with 3 more videos during the course of September. Thank you.